Yeah. So on 22, just real quick for your notes, if you see 5 pick 2, you should immediately know that that's what? 5 times 4, right? You have 5 options and you're filling in 2. That's 20. 100 pick 2, guess what? It's going to be 100 times 99, so that's 9900. So very quickly, maybe I will highlight this part right here. The 2 represents how many, starting with n, how many slots are you going to fill? Okay. What's 6 pick 1? Real quick. 6, there we go. 5 pick 5. 5 pick 5 is 5 factorial, right? Because you're using all, like you have 5 slots, you're filling it in with 5. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's 100 and, is it 120? Yeah, it's 120. You have that on your study sheet, I hope. It's going to save you a ton of time moving forward to do that. Okay. We're now going to talk about grouping, okay? Grouping and maybe repeats. So let's flip to 23. Pay close attention to this. This is a bit of a highlight today. And you're going to see this a lot moving forward. You must have a section on your study sheet that's called grouping. I would strongly suggest that, like permutations grouping. And then this is the page that you want to go to, okay, to kind of review it. Arrangements where certain, right, objects or people or whatever need to stay together. They need to be beside each other, okay? So let's start with I'm going to do a couple of examples and then I'll give you a generic formula if you'd like to use the formula. Or format, I should say. It's not necessarily a formula. An artist wishes to display her 8 paintings at an art gallery. How many ways can sorry, I'm still working on this booklet, guys. I kind of scrambled over COVID and just like put something together so students would have it all. And I'm still needing to fix a bunch of things. So 8 paintings, we're assuming that all 8 need to be arranged. So we go 8, pick 8, right? Let me just have this all organized here. So that would be that's 8 factorial, correct? 4,320 ways that these 8 paintings could be arranged. Okay. There we go. Can I just, because I want to illustrate what's happening next, I'm going to actually go through this step where I go 8 slots and we fill that in 2, 4, 6, 8. Because this never goes away. You can always use the fundamental counting principle. It's there for you to verify and think it through, whatever. Okay. If the artist wishes to keep her 3 favorite paintings together, there it is. Right? Keep the 3 favorite paintings together. How many paintings how many arrangements are possible now? So you're restricted. You're somewhat restricted. The 3 need to stay together. You can't just pull them apart. So I will do the 8 lines again because we do have 8 paintings. 4 and 4, 8. Okay, and we're going to assume at the very beginning we have all 3 together up front here. So I'm going to bag these ones up. I'm going to put a circle around it, and these 3, I can move them together. As long as they stay together, I can move them anywhere I want, and these single paintings can be put anywhere on the sides of that one. Okay, so inside of this circle, I can arrange these one any which way I want. That's 3 factorial right there. Okay. That's what I call zoom in. Zoom into the group. Within the group, you can mix them up any way you want. It's like 3, 2, 1, right? And on top of that, when you zoom out, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots. This is just a big slot, but you can move these around any which way you want. And this is what I call the zooming out part. So you've got 6 factorial on the outside. So we almost treat this as if it's like combined into just one slot, one big slot. And so we treat that, so we technically have 6 options. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hence the 6 factorial. So these are being multiplied here to get the total number of possible arrangements. Oh, is that diamond? Okay. We go like this. 3 factorial, that's your group created. 6 factorial is zooming out. Okay, so this is the group. Okay. This is the group. And so that is what's happening. That's how you treat groupings. So you kind of make a circle, and then it could have been 4 together, 5 together, you name it. Within that circle, you can make arrangements with whatever's in there. And then you got to zoom out and just go line, line, line. So instead of 8, we ended up with 6 on the outside. So zoom in, zoom out, and multiply those two. Okay, that's how you come up with arrangements that involve grouping. So let's do another one here. The artist looks at the paintings again, and she now has a group of 3 that needs to stay together. Has a group of 3 that need to stay together. And another group of 4, I'm going to use a different color there, let's go orange. Another group of 4 that need to stay together. How many arrangements are possible now? Remember, we still always have the 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And you decide where you want to put the groups. But I tend to do this. I'm going to say these are this is the group of 3 that needs to stay together. Inside of that group, I get to do whatever I want, right? Rearrange them. As long as they're together, we can rearrange them. That is I'm going to put a highlighter around it, right? That's the first group. And then the other are 4. Sure, if you want to, you can put them at the end here, right? Let's count 4 from the back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's pretend like these are the 4 paintings that we want together. So within the group there, you can go 4 factorial, right? 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to stick with that color. And now, how many slots do you have if you zoom out? 1, 2, 3. So this is what I call 3 factorial. And once you've come up with all your factorials, you just sandwich them all, right? You just multiply them all. I will go with the groups first. 3 factorial times 4 factorial times the 3 factorial. It happens to be 3 again. Okay, so this is how you would come up with the number of groups. So I'm going to go just arrow. This is G1. This is G2. I don't know what to call the last one. Zoom out. Let's call it zoom. I don't know. I'm trying to help you out here. Zoom out. So this is maybe I'll go pink here. The last one I'll always, whatever I use for these slots, I will do that here as well. And I would have one on my study sheet. On my study sheet, I would have an example. So this is the zoom out. Okay. It turns out, watch this. How many paintings do I have? I always have 8, right? If you subtract 3, you're down to 5. What do we need to do to 5 to get to this number? We need to add 1, right, to get to 6. Okay, see that pattern? Watch this one. We have 8 paintings, correct? Take away 3, you're down to 5. Take away 4, you're down to 1. But I added 2 groups to the, because there's 2 groups involved, so I added 2 to the 1 to get to the 3. Scratch, scratch, right? So this is the pattern here. This is, if you want it, you take it. If you don't, if you just like to do this every time with grouping, no problem whatsoever. But here, total arrangements when it comes to grouping. When it comes to grouping, you may use this one. So watch what I do. I go objects in group number 1. I slap on, don't miss that factorial there. Okay. I slap on the factorial next to that. Times objects in group 2, you slap on a factorial there. Times, what does dot 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 mean in this case? That you would continue doing this for as many groups as are being created. I've never seen more than 3. 3 is like the max I've seen. Okay, but watch this. You go total. In this case, up here was 8, right? Minus the number of items in group 1, minus the number of items in group 2, minus, you keep doing that for as many groups as you have, plus the number of groups, and then you slap on a factorial at the end. Say what? Okay, let's try this and replicate what happened here. Objects in group number 1, we had 3, right? Objects in group number 2, we had 4. And now this is the tricky part. If you do this part right here, maybe I'll give it a pink, because this is the zooming out part. This last part is when you zoom out. Watch what we did. We went 8 minus 3 minus 4 plus, how many groups did you create? You created 2 groups. Slap a factorial on there. So that would be 3 factorial, 4 factorial, and if you clean this one up, this is 5, 1 plus 2 is 3 factorial. So we've replicated this part right here, here. And some students flat out tell me, Mr. Erickson, this messed me up. Like, please don't do that. Then just ignore it. Don't put it on your study sheet. If this is gonna throw you off, don't do it. Just stick with, if you understood what I was doing here with the zooming in and then zooming out and making your dashes, you're good. The only concern I have is, what if the province decides to, what if they decide to have 50 slots to be filled? You want to do 50? I'm not sure. I don't think, I've never seen that, so I don't think I'm too worried about that. I think you should be fine without this formula, okay? Let's go to 24. Hold on. I'm wondering if I should tell you right away. Because the province likes the knots a lot. Let's go to, I'll just introduce it to you. We'll just talk about it. So we have the number of arrangements where the 3 favorite paintings are together. This is how you would find it. Okay? What if the question asks, listen carefully, how many ways are there where these three paintings are not together? If the province says, find the number of arrangements where these 3 are not together, what would you do in that case? You would take all possible ways minus this answer here, where they are together. So when there's a not, try to focus on how many ways are there to do that, and then subtract it from the total. That's how you get the knots. I think I'm seeing it right there. I added that. Can we just also get the number here? I wanted to focus just on how to set this up. 3 factorial is 6 and 24. That's 4,000. You can write this down here. 4,320 ways, because at the end of the day, you have to give us, unless we tell you otherwise, you have to give us an answer. So this is 120 times. And then this one down here, we can just say 3 factorial is 6 times 24 times 6, right? That is 864 ways. And before I keep talking, I want you to practice this right away on page 24. So grouping is just going to be thrown in there somewhere. It's not necessarily going to be a standalone. So I'm going to ask you to try, go to 24 and try that. If you finish 24 before, because I'm going to try to find the key for it, you go to 28. 28 I didn't assign yesterday. It has more grouping. Okay? Okay. I'm just going to close with this. I appreciate you working on this. So I said 24 to 28, right? I'm just going to say, I want you to finish 24, this page, and then 26 to 29, I already assigned that yesterday. Like I started you off in 26, I think. But now you can do the pages that I skipped yesterday, because that's kind of like a worksheet that goes from 26 to 29. And I give you space to do the work there. My key doesn't have that, so you might have to like look for the answer on the pages that follow. But there is some grouping. All of that stuff is happening there, so it's very, very important that you try that, okay? What's tomorrow, you're asking? Repeated objects. So for example, eyes has an E and an E there. There's 2 E's, so there's a problem. We got to address that, okay? Thank you, guys.